I just wrote it on the cubicle wall, on the fabric, ruined cubicle, but that's how we roll. But it doesn't matter. It'll be there forever now. It'll remind us to, when we launch something, we're going to do it. It says writers at Infowars.com. Writers at Infowars.com for people that want to submit things. And we still got to scan over it and double check the subsections. But so you know, because we get all these tips and then forget it, and the dog's barking or the baby's crying or, you know, power goes off or we're paying bills, you know, all the crap. But if people will just write the articles, craft them, just have the facts, then we can take care of it. Writers at Infowars.com will be the new address, but only for people that have written articles. You guys like that in there? Hey, Matt, you like the new decoration there on the cubicle? You like that? I'm gonna start everything. Actually, folks, you know what happens to me? I'm gonna be writers at Infowars.com. You like that with the Sharpie indelible marker? A little something for you there. Anyways, I'm a primitive person. We all are on this planet. And I get attacked. I see enemies. I know they're criminals. I know they're enslavers. I know it's our own species setting up a predatory system, because we are predators. But we're a group of humans engaged in predator activity against the people. And it makes my heart beat fast. It upsets me. When he was saying the subsections of the bill and I was reading them as he said it, I began to have adrenaline rushes. I began to picture the pedophiles cornering families and grabbing their kids. I know they do. I want justice. I'm pissed. And I just began thinking, my God, I'll never get the subsections. I'll never mark it down. I'll never get an article written. I don't have the writers. But we did that today. I can get a few in-office editors, is really what they are, to collate and put the stuff together and write a few articles a day and post them and put them in good sections and make sure we get them out. And then you can get the articles and get them out to everybody. But the reason I've been successful at fighting the New World Order is that I have so much passion, but it's too much passion. I mean, I just can't stand the abuse of the people. I can't stand the tyranny anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't stand that we're such nice guys, that we put up with all this crap. We got to get more aggressive. That's why I'm glad we had the money bomb. I'm glad you gave. And I'm glad, you know, that resistance is not futile. Resistance is fertile. And I just salute you all. And we're going to expose these CPS scum. You read the official textbooks. The official textbooks. On the prisonplanet.com forum, people didn't believe me, listeners, so the forum guys put hundreds of textbooks and articles where they call the family animals and a disease and mentally ill that has to be eradicated. And that's what this is. This is the takeover to what's left of the family. They've already destroyed our economy, broke the families up, made us illegitimate, destroyed the great Western society, and now they're moving in to mop us up with black ops, with little dumbed down, almost biological robot little CPS workers and police all on petty power trips. They're just as dumb as everybody else. And I see the sharks circling us and grabbing our young and dragging our young off into the dark. And I just, and the slaves are all busy watching TV and laughing at me. And I'm like, look, another one of us just got dragged off by them. If we get together, we can kick their butt. But as things get worse and worse, people are going to wake up and stand up. The globalists, though, wouldn't be moving with all this tyranny if they didn't think people were going to lay down. So they've decided they think they can get away with it. And I hope to God that's not the case, because this is hardcore disgusting. But it's HR 2667, and I just don't have the people. I got Aaron. He's been up here till late last night, early this morning. I got Jason Douglas. I got Kurt Nimmo and Steve Watson. Paul's out of town. And I guess you'll never see it anywhere else, HR 2667. So feds will probably pass it, and the CPS will be at your door in the next year trying to take your kids. Everybody's going to get the visit. And that's just another thing. I can't even keep track of it. Just stacks of evil and corruption everywhere, just exploding as the tyranny pours in on all sides. I'm sick of this crap. This is evil. Can't people recognize training 7-year-olds to tattle on their parents for everything and spy on them is wrong? This is bull, and I'm sick of it. Jason's coming up with a big guest. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for me. This is the last day of the Money Bomb. Infowars.com, InfowarsMoneyBomb.com. Stay with us. Hello.
We are back. Jason Bermas on the eve of the Money Bomb. The end, the last 2 hours. Remember, you can give at 1-888-201-2244. That's 888-201-2244. We are joined by Betty Henderson of SSRIstories.com. How are you tonight, Betty? Do we have her yet? Oh, Are you there?
Yes.
I'm
Can
sorry.
you hear me?
Yeah. They just had to hit a button. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you tell people what you dedicate the website to and how you got involved in the subject matter?
Well, SSRIstories.com deals with the Prozac-type drugs. You know, Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, Celexa, the Luvox, Lexapro. There's a bunch of them. They're called the Prozac-type drugs. They're SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and they're antidepressants. And millions of people are on them. And they're causing a lot of problems for many people. Now, first of all, I want to say if you're taking one of these, you think you're doing okay, then don't ever go off of it. I mean, you know, in the sense that withdrawal is often more dangerous than staying on a medication. It can cause withdrawal mania, and you could go into some kind of suicide or homicidal action, you know, so you have to be very cautious about that. But we just knew too many people that were injured by these drugs, and so I decided to start this website. And it consists of 3,121 cases that were reported in the media. These aren't personal stories. That were reported in newspapers and occasionally journal articles about people who did something terrible on an SSRI, usually violence or a suicide or some kind of criminal activity like arson or different things.
Before we get into those stories, why don't you explain to people, what is a reuptake inhibitor? Well,
what it does is there's a neurotransmitter in the brain called serotonin, and the Prozac type drug will stop the uptake of serotonin into the synapse so that there consequently is more serotonin floating around in the brain. So that's how it inhibits it. That's the way it works.
Now, as I understand it, drugs like Prozac and whatnot, their main ingredient is fluoride. Is that true?
Well, yes. I don't know if it's their main ingredient, but it's a big part of their ingredient, yeah.
That's just unbelievable to me that they put fluoride in antidepressants, and then they also put it in the water supply and the toothpaste, in now, I mean, tons of food products. I think this is kind of getting out of control, in my opinion. What are some of these horror stories? I mean, you said 3,121 cases. I know we've covered at least, 3 dozen of them on this program alone in the past 3 or 4 months. But what do you think some of the more drastic cases have been?
Well, of course, at the top of the page, after you go into the cover page for SSRIstories.com, and you read the cover page, you can click into the index, and at the top are the 48 school shootings. You see, we didn't have school shootings much, before Prozac was introduced in 1988. And what it does is it makes people become manic and psychotic. And, I'm not just making this up. This is actually in the physician's desk reference, that you can become psychotic on these drugs. These are some of the reactions that you can have to the drugs. In fact, the FDA even issued a public health advisory in March 22nd, 2004, I think, that they were even concerned. And on it, they talk about how people have more agitation, more anxiety, more panic attacks because of the drugs. Because of these SSRIs, they have insomnia and irritability and hostility, and they're impulsive. They have severe restlessness. And then hypomania and mania have been reported in adults and pediatric patients.
On the other side, I want to talk about more of these side effects and why the FDA even allows these drugs on the market if all these side effects are just out in the open. It's the Infowars.